Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another segment of Diva-Ville. Yes, Diva-Ville is back tonight. Thank you guys for dropping in, sitting in, so we can have this conversation. Tonight's show is sponsored by no other than the Marcus Store. The Marcus Store, as you guys know, have my logo, my motto in it that says my mind, my thought. And with that being said, I always feel that everybody wants to be an individual. Everybody wants to be themselves. And by doing that, what we're doing with our sneakers, we're doing white label sneakers. So you say to yourself, what is a white label sneaker? Well, white label sneakers, we're taking off the logos. We're taking off the words. We're just giving you just plain sneakers. Why? Because everybody deserves to be themselves. My new motto is they keep changing, right? My new motto is embrace the culture and dare to be different. And when I say dare to be different, you can have on the same thing that somebody else has on, but you can still be a different person. Okay, so tonight's show, let's just hop right into it. And this is the name of tonight's show: conversations to have before saying I do or I don't. Okay. So before we get started, this is the number. If anybody wants to call in, 917-924-2644. That's the number that you can dial in and you could be a part of the conversation. Okay. Um, I want you guys to share. I want as many people to hear this as possible because I feel that this is like really, really important. I mean, I feel that everything I say is important, but I feel that this is just something that needs to be said. So, a lot of people meet somebody, they fall in love or they think they're in love, and then it's like, let's get married. But then you jump into the relationship and it's so many unanswered questions. It's so many things that you don't know. But some people, well, a lot of people. I know this person who I used to work with, and he said to me, if a woman is engaged, she's happy. Nothing else matters. She's engaged. Look, 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 I'm engaged. I'm getting married. But it gotta be more to it than that. It gotta be more to it than just saying I'm in love. So you need to sit down and have some conversations before you get married. And I feel that if you sit down and you have a conversation and you discuss certain things, I really feel that it wouldn't be as many divorces as it is. Hey, Ann, how are you? Glad you made it back. I think that if we do this, we can cut back on some divorces. So let's just jump right into it because, I want to tell you guys what I think. So, one thing I think that people should talk about before they get married is spending habits, debts, bills. How do you intend to paying these bills? Talk about your credit score. Talk about with bank accounts. Are we going to share a bank account? Or are we not going to share a bank account? See, people take things like this for granted, and then once you get married, it becomes a big problem. Money is always a big problem, and that's because people don't take time to discuss it. They so in love, or they so wrapped up in the feeling or the emotion of being in love, they leave out a whole lot of stuff. So you want to know whether it's male or female, your spending habits. How do you spend your money? How do you budget your money? Do you just go out impulsively? I'm sorry, you guys. Impulsively and just start spending money? How do you spend your money? Are you in debt? How did you get in debt? What are you doing towards working to pay off that debt? How do you pay your bills? Are you on time? Are you behind? What's your FICO score? A lot of people don't know what a FICO score is. And if a person don't know what a FICO score is, 9 times out of 10, that means they got bad credit because they don't even understand what the FICO score is all about. All right. Talk about all of that stuff. This is stuff that you need to know before you jump into the relationship. Because you jump into the relationship and 6 months in, you realize, hey, this person done filed bankruptcy or this person is in collection, all this different stuff. This is stuff that you need to talk about at the beginning. You don't need to get into the relationship and then you spring this on somebody or somebody spring this on you. You need to know ahead of time so you can decide whether you want to get involved with this or not, whether you just want to just stay friends or whether you just want to wait. This is why I say you need to have these questions so you can decide whether you should say I do or say I don't. And it's not just women, the men, they need to look into this also because listen, as women, we are not perfect. We make mistakes also. So you need to speak up, ask these questions, find out what's going on before you get into that relationship. You need to find out, are we going to have a joint account or we're going to have individual account or we're going to have both? And the reason why I say this right here is because everybody needs to put something to the side for a rainy day. You need to have an account for paying bills. You need to have your money put to the side for vacation. You need to have your money put to the side for emergencies. How do you want to do this money? Do we want to put it together or do we want to separate it? The bill money, I would say put it together. The vacation money, I would say put it together. But if it's an emergency or something and you want to put it to the side, put it to the side. But don't wait until you get married and then you go, you know what? I want to have an individual account. James Robinson said, no joint accounts. You guys know this is my husband, right? And we don't have a joint account. We don't. And it's not because we don't know how to handle money. It's because it's something that we came up with from the very first beginning. We knew before we got married that we weren't going to have a joint account. You know, he has things that he do. I have things that I do. So you have to be able to juggle and take care of your own situation. If you want to have a joint account, it's fine. But make sure at the beginning it's clear we're gonna have a joint account. Don't get into the relationship and then all of a sudden you decide, you know what? I want to have my own account. You have your own account. You know what I'm saying? This is why you need to have these conversations ahead of time. Some people think that, oh, just because we married that we have to have a joint account. No, just because you married doesn't mean you have to have a joint account. But the thing is, you have to discuss it ahead of time to make sure that everybody's on the same page about that. Everybody understands exactly what's going on. Children, now, children can make or break a relationship. And let me tell you, kids are a blessing. So I'm going to put that out there first. Kids are a blessing. But before you get involved in a relationship, you need to find out if your partner wants to have kids or not. Some people don't want to have kids. You know what I'm saying? And if that's a deal breaker, you need to know at the very first beginning. You don't want to get involved in this relationship and all of a sudden you pop up, hey, baby, guess what? I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, I don't want to have no kids. You guys need to get this together from the very first beginning. Or, hold on. And said, no, you don't. No, put my glasses on so I can see. And said, no, you don't. But we talk about this before marriage. No, you have to talk about it because this is important stuff. Some people, like I said, they don't want to have kids. So, say as a woman, you don't want to have kids, and say a year into the marriage, this guy's pressuring you to have kids. What are you gonna do? What are you going to tell him? Because you should have had that conversation at the beginning. I don't want to have kids right now. Or I want to wait until I'm more into my career, until we'll settle before we start having kids. You have to make decisions ahead of time because there are people that in relationships because of that one thing, having kids. One wants to have kids, the other one doesn't want to have kids. And next thing you know, there's no relationship. So there is sometimes when he doesn't want to have kids, but she wants to have kids. She becomes pregnant. He ends up leaving her. And then what happened? You wanted a baby. You have a baby, but you don't have a family. Listen to what I'm saying to you. You wanted a baby. Not both of you. You wanted a baby. You got to like take all this stuff into consideration because everybody doesn't want to have kids. Miss Sarah says, um, everyone does not understand budgeting and crediting. That goes back to what I was saying for the very first beginning. You're right. A lot of people don't understand how to budget their money. They don't understand what credit is all about. People don't even understand that some places that you go to, like if you get on a plane and stuff, they won't even take cash. You have to have a credit card or a debit card. You know what I'm saying? Get your credit and stuff together. Learn how to look at those credit reports, Experian, TransUnion, and what's that other one? Expedia, TransUnion, not Expedia, Experian. Y'all know what y'all know what I'm talking about. Go on it, work out your credit, get that stuff together. Both of you, not just one, because you don't want to go into a relationship or go into a situation and be in debt. Okay. If either one of you guys have kids on the outside, you know what I'm saying, from a previous relationship, talk about it before you get married, because you know what? Now, once you guys become as one, that child becomes a part of you guys also. So you need to set boundaries as far as how to discipline the child. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to blend, you got to make it together. You got to say, I don't want you to discipline my child. I do want you to discipline my child. You have to set boundaries. You have to let people know ahead of time. Why? Because the person that you used to be with, that you had this kid with, this person is going to have some say so about this also. This is why you got to have these conversations ahead of time, because this person may say, I don't want you to discipline my child. Now, I'm like this. If your child is in there with me, I'm not going to kill your child. I'm not going to do anything to your child that I wouldn't do to my child. But your child has to be able to respect me. So I am going to discipline your child. So if I can't discipline your child, or you can't discipline my child, how can we be in a relationship together? How can we say, let's get married and there's a child involved? Because it's going to be constant bickering. Because if that child is doing something, say the child belongs to the husband, and that child is doing something that I don't like, I'm going to be saying something, which means now what? It's going to cause constant arguments between me and my husband. Understand what I'm saying? You have to set all these boundaries and these ground rules at the beginning, because people jump into it and it's like, okay, we got this right here. Let's do it. I say this because I was watching the new House of Pain. And when I was watching it, the girl came in and she was like, I need to talk to you because why is she disciplining my kid? This is why you have to have these conversations at the very first beginning. Straighten it out so you know exactly what is supposed to be expected. Okay, you got to be on the same page at all times, but don't wait until you get into the relationship. You got to straighten this out before you get into the relationship. Location. Now, people probably saying, "What do you mean by location?" Okay, say like with me, I was brought up in the South. My husband was brought up in the city. So you decide to get married. I may say, you know what, babe? Because I was brought up in the South, let's move back down south. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is better in the South. And he may say, well, all my life, hey Diane, how are you? All my life is here in New York. I don't want to go to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that conversation. You have to be able to decide exactly where you're going to live ahead of time. Don't get it in your head, okay, well, you know what? I'm getting ready to have kids now, so I want to be closer to my family. It may not work out like that. So you have to have that conversation ahead of time about where are we going to live. Don't wait until you on your honeymoon and now you sitting there saying, well, babe, well, where do you think that we should live now? No, you got to get this stuff straightened out from the very first beginning. Uh, Miss Sarah said parenting styles are important and need to work out. Parenting styles are important and they do need to work out because everybody do not parent the exact same way. They used to say it takes a village to raise a child. I don't say it. The reason why I don't say it is because what she just said, everybody does not parent the same way. Everybody does not feel for your child the way they would feel for their own child. Keep that in mind. It is not everybody, not everybody, but some people, you know what I'm saying? People got like jealous, envious spirits, and they may treat your child totally different. Say they have a child with your ex, and then your child comes in. Some people they try to separate it like this right here, which is a bad thing. This is why parenting skills are not the same, and it comes back to you have to work this out before you say I do, because that's a long time thing. I do is a long time thing. And who wants to get married, spend all that money to get married, and then turn around and spend all that money to get divorced? Who wants to go through that? You got to have these conversations so you know what's going on. This is a big one, too, you guys. Religion. Now, Everybody have their own religion, and it all comes down to the same thing. But everybody have their own religion. So if you are Baptist, say your husband is Muslim or he's Catholic or whatever the case may be. Now you have kids, right? Now the conversation comes up. Will this child take the mother's religion or the father's religion? You guys need to talk about this ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people that go through back and forth, bickering about the religion of the child. I think that the child should have the same religion as the mother. But then what about the father? He doesn't have any rights. This is why you guys have to decide at the beginning exactly what's going to go on. Because if you can't work this out before you say I do, it's no way you're going to work it out after you say I do. Religion is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Even though it all adds up and it comes down to the same thing, everybody looks at it in a different way. Remember what I'm saying to you. They look at it in a different way. So you got them, they call him God, they call him Allah, they call him the universe. It's so many different names that God is being called, but it's only one. You know what I'm saying? It's only one. And people read different Bibles, they read different books, and people have a tendency, and I hate it, when they read stuff, they try to find that one scripture they feel that pertains to them, because they feel that they get that scripture that pertains to them, because those are people who don't read the Bible and they don't understand. That's why they find that one scripture. So then they would try to tell you, well, in the Bible says this. So this is why I think that the child should have my religion. But then on the other hand, the other person is going to come down and say the same thing. But at the end, it all comes down to the same thing. Okay. So if you can't get on that same page with religion, don't get married. Don't get married, because it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out, because if you are constantly disagreeing on what's going on, or if the child says, um, thank you, God, and the other person goes, no, it's not God, it's Ali. It's going. I mean, Allah is going to be a problem. Think about it. Think about it. These are conversations that you need to be having, because if you can't straighten it out before you get married, you're definitely not going to straighten it out after you get married, and you're definitely not going to straighten it out after you have kids. This is the type of conversations that you need to be sitting down and having. Everybody is so wrapped up in the love, the feeling, the emotion, but nobody thinks about that long-term effect that goes along with it. It's more than just saying that I love you, because that's something that you have to work on too. But in order for you to work on that I love you part, you have to have these conversations. And when you have these conversations, you have to say, am I willing to compromise? Am I willing to give up a part of myself to spend the rest of my life with this person? These are the conversations that you got to be having, because people don't have these conversations. They don't have them at all. Then they marry, and then they unhappy. Why are they unhappy? Because they did not get a chance to know this person from the very first beginning. Um, Personal history. I'm the type of person, I don't want any surprises. If it's something going on, let me know. I don't want to be married to you and then I find out something else that happened. If you a murderer, let me know. If you a rapist, let me know. If you a pedophile, let me know. If you got 50 outside kids, let me know. And then let me decide if I want to deal with this situation or not. Don't wait until we marry and then I find out about it later on, because it's gonna blow my mind to start off, because I felt that, you know what, you tricked me. And I allowed myself to be tricked, because I was so, what they say, love is blind. I was so wrapped up in the love situation that everything else didn't matter. But it does matter. If you have a criminal record, oh yeah, it matters. If you are a pedophile, yeah, it matters, because if we're talking about having kids, you can't be touching my kid, because I'm not gonna leave my kid with you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you are the father, you can't be hugging my kid. You can't be giving my kid a bath. You can't be doing none of that. If you have a criminal record, if you're a part of a gang, anything like that, talk about it, because that person needs to know ahead of time. Don't let them get into that relationship and they find out all this different stuff. Forget about that love part. Let's get down to reality. Let's find out exactly what's going on. So let me see the real you. And then let me say, if I can say, you know what? I love you. And you know what? Yeah, let's get married because, yeah, I do love you. Think about it. You don't want no secrets. You don't want any of that. You don't want no female knocking on your door saying, oh, this is your husband's kid right here. You don't want it. You don't want it. So let's talk about this stuff ahead of time. I mean, listen, everybody got kids now. So just let me know so I can govern myself accordingly so that I know how to deal with it. It's just simple as that. But people, again, you're so wrapped up in the love. You so wrapped up in, oh, I'm getting married. You so wrapped up in and spending all this money to plan this big occasion, this big affair. You don't even know the person that you're marrying. And then 6 months into it, once the newness wears off, now you're mad and you're stuck. Now you got to find a lawyer. You got to pay for the lawyer. You got to go through all these different things. Why? To get a divorce, when if you would have taken the time to sit down and have conversations about you, about him, so you guys can get to know each other. Think about how much money you could have saved. Now, I'm not saying that because the person has a criminal record, I'm not saying that that person is bad. I'm not saying that that person can't change. But what I am saying is I need to know this ahead of time. I don't want to get into the relationship and find out you a mass murderer and I go to bed and wake up and you standing over me looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? I need to know these things ahead of time. So you got to have these conversations. Um, then you need to find out this too. I'm trying to check my time. Do you really want to be married or do you just want to live together? Because everybody don't want to be married. Everybody do not want to be married. Some people are just satisfied with just living with each other without having that because either way, it's still a commitment. If you decide that, if we decide that we're going to live together, it's still a commitment. Whether there's a ring, whether there's a piece of paper or whatever, it's still a commitment, but you have to have that conversation. And if you decide, you know what? Oh, I don't want to get married. Let's just live together. Okay. And if both of you guys decided 6 months down the road, when you see your homegirl, she getting married, or your cousin getting married, or your sister getting married, don't start that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to cause problems. Babe, let's get married. I think I want to get married. Because he going to tell you, well, you know what? 6 months ago, you said you didn't want to get married. Or you said you wanted to do is let's just live together. Now you got an attitude. Now you upset. But why are you upset? Because you never had that conversation. You never said, well, you know what? We can live together now and we can revisit later on to see if we want to get married or not. It's a simple conversation. All of these things are simple conversations, but we make it hard. We make it hard with these conversations because we don't want to hear the answer. We don't want to hear what that other person has to say because it may be something that we don't want, that we're not going to like. So since we're not going to like what's going to be said, we don't want to have that conversation. So you wait, you hold it in, then you get married, and Pandora's box is open. You know what I'm saying? And it's just craziness, and it's craziness for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Um, find out what are that person's goals, what are their dreams, what do they want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to do? You want to be an architect? You want to be into real estate? You want to build houses? What do you want to do? You need to know what this person wants to do. What's the person's game plan? You want to go to school? You're trying to get all these degrees and stuff. Tell me, what is it that you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Don't get married. And then every time you leave in the morning, that person is sitting in the house. You come home in the afternoon, that person is still sitting in the house, and the person hasn't done anything. You need to know what is your game plan? Because we can't do this, just one of us doing it. We got to work on this whole little situation together. What is your plan? What is your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to do? And more important than anything else, and this is my last topic, but my last, yeah, not topic, but my last point, but this is important. What do you expect from each other? Have that conversation. Set your boundary. Set expectations. What do you expect? Okay, do you expect me to cook and clean and do laundry every day? If this is what you want, let me know so I can tell you. whether I'm going to do this or whether I'm not going to do this. If you want him to go out every day and work and then come in and help you with the chores and stuff, let him know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Or let her know ahead of time. It shouldn't be a surprise that, oh, you know what? Oh, I just came in from work. I'm tired. I'm going to go in there and lay down while you cook. If we're both working, we both cooking. We both cooking, we both cleaning up. But you got to set those expectations. Because if you don't set expectations, if you don't have those conversations to let the other person know what's going on, to let you know how you feel or how they feel, you're setting yourself up for a life of chaos, a life of problems. Because people would tell you, oh, well, you didn't have a problem with me not working before. Oh, you didn't have a problem with me not doing the dishes before. Oh, you didn't have a problem with this. You didn't have a problem with that. All of a sudden, now you got a problem with it. You got to have those conversations. Thank you, Ann. You got to have those conversations. You got to set those expectations. You got to let that other person know what you're expecting, what you're willing to give. But more important, you can't expect more from a person than you are willing to give yourself. And that's a problem too, because a lot of people are there and they want so much from the other person, but they don't want to give themselves. They want that person to go out, they want that person to work, they want that person to cook, clean, and do everything, but at the same time, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it themselves. You got to be able to compromise. So before you sit down and you say to somebody, come on, let's get married, get to know that person because there's more to it than just love. People fall in and out of love every day. I'm not saying that you're going to like get married and then tomorrow you're not going to love this person. People fall out of love, they fall back in love. But what I'm saying to you is to avoid um, so much problems, so much chaos in your relationship. Have those conversations. Ask those hard questions. Talk about money because I'm telling you, money will destroy a relationship. Talk about kids because kids will destroy a relationship. And for God's sake, if you have any skeletons in your closet, talk about it. Do not wait until the honeymoon to say, you know what? I was in jail for 6 years because I killed somebody. Don't wait and say, you know what? I was in a rehab. I was on drugs, or if you have a sickness or a depression, anything, talk about it. People don't need no secrets. And especially if you're talking about having kids, let's talk. If you have any type of sickness, you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes, you got cancer, you got AIDS, you got COVID, whatever, have that conversation. Because if you're talking about having kids, it's going to affect everybody, not just you, but everybody else. And if a person says to you, I don't want to have kids, respect that person's opinion. I mean, respect them for saying they don't want to have kids. If they don't want to have kids, well, what about adoption? How do you feel about adoption? Because some women can't have kids. So then you ask, how do you feel about adoption? Some men don't want they don't want to adopt. I want kids. I want my own kids. Okay, so that's not the relationship for you. Why are you going to say I do when you know this person wants kids, not adopted kids? This person wants their own kids, and you can't give the person these kids. That's not the relationship for you. You're gonna have to move on. So, okay, I did my 30, which is good. Um, hope you guys enjoyed this right here. If there's anybody out there that's not married before you decide to take that big plunge, have those conversations. Don't be afraid. Have those conversations because they are very important. Those conversations will save you a lifetime of heartache and pain. Okay, you guys. So that's it. So, like I always say, go to YouTube, leave some comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Hold on. Ann said that she had that conversation. You better, and that's why you've been married for over 30 something years, because you had that conversation and the expectations were already set. There's no surprises, there's no nothing, because you need to know what's going on. Leave comments, good, bad, or indifferent. You guys, this is the first Sunday in April, so I have 3 more shows for this series before I take a break. But at any rate, what I need for you guys to do is go over to the store. You guys already know the name, demarcastore.com. Go into the store, look around. There's a lot of different discounts. There's coupons and stuff in the store. Go in the store and look. I want you guys to do something too, myself included. Um, when you are making your purchases, make sure you look at everything on it because it'll tell you if it's a snug, if it's a slim fit, if it's a regular fit, if it's cut big, if it's cut small. You guys look at all those particulars so you don't be disappointed when you get your item. Now I got this shirt right here, right? It's a nice shirt, and I got it in a large, and it'll probably fit me better in about a month after I lose some weight. But I bought it in a large, but it is a slim fit, so it really fits me. So I'm telling you guys, when you go in there, make sure you read everything. If you think that it's not going to fit you, do a size over. Some of them will fit you exactly, but some of them are slim fit. And if we not slim fit, don't do it. We know who we are. We know what our limitations and everything are. So we gotta do it like that. You guys remember you can use credit cards, you can use PayPal, and you can use ShopPay. Like I said to you guys before, when you use the ShopPay, it's a great tool. They give you like a loan from $50 to $300. You're gonna get your stuff before it's all paid for. They take a payment every 2 weeks. You pay that first payment right up front, and everything else goes every 2 weeks. You guys need to take advantage of it. There's some really nice things in there. The summer is coming. With the summer coming, nice, beautiful colors. If you guys see an item in the store and it's not the color that you want, let me know because when I go in there and put items in the store, I just put random colors in there. So don't just think because that's the color that you see, that's the color that it is. No, I just choose random colors to put it in there so you guys can see. Because you got, whoa, talking too much. So you guys can see the merchandise itself. If you tell me you want a particular color, I'll put that color in there for you and I will leave it in the store for maybe 10 days or whatever to give you a chance to go in there and make your purchase. And then I want to take it out. The reason why I want to take it out because I don't want to have too much stuff. I have a lot of stuff in here already, but I don't want to have too much stuff going on in there. So you guys go there, look at that. You guys know I changed the Facebook page. Now it's just called the Market Store. You guys go to the page, look at what's going on. Any discounts, anything going on, it will be there. If I don't have your email address, please give me your email address because I do send out letters. I do send out discounts. I do send out promotions. And I want everybody to take advantage of these different things that's going on. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, this is the last thing I'm going to say, you guys. What I said at the beginning for the people that weren't there. So I spoke to my husband and we decided with our sneakers, we're doing white label. White label means there is no logo or anything on it. Everybody deserves to be themselves. You guys know how I like to say my mind, my thoughts. It's the same thing with when you dressing. My thing there is embrace the culture, but dare to be different. So you and I can wear the same thing and we can wear it differently and we can both wear it well. So if the sneakers that you want, there will not be any logos, anything on it unless you request it. That's the only way that it's going to be there. Okay. Love each and every one of you guys. And until next weekend, take care. Run to that store before it's too late. Love you guys. Good night.